last time we talked about the history of psychology. We're going to pick up on the history of psychology and also talk about major theories in psychology in the next few sections. We left off talking about the functionalists and how much contrast the functionalists versus the structuralists. Who were the functionalists? Functionalists were students of Wundt who came to the United States. The structuralists was started by Wundt, and he wanted to make psychology a science like chemistry. Make psychology a science like chemistry. Back to Thomas Kuhn, science changes with the times. Science changes with the times. You get one school of thought that controls truth for a period of time. Questions get started, answer that theory can't handle. A new school of thought. We talk about how Descartes came along the time to challenge it when the church defined truth, and Descartes and the historical movement of the Renaissance at that time brought major fusion question that, and eventually through the 1800s was considered the age of reason. That's when theorists supposedly broke off from the church and having true science to a certain extent. Okay, but Watson graduated University of Chicago, got a job at Johns Hopkins University, married the president of the university's daughter, and got caught cheating on her with his research assistant. And the president of the college said, "You messed over my daughter, you'll never teach again." So he got a job, got kicked out of academia, got a job at Macy's as a janitor, and eventually went to owner at Macy's, talking about how, let me rearrange your floor and I can increase your sales. And from there, Watson became a millionaire through advertising. He never went back into teaching, but he made his money through advertising. Also advertised advertisement for Pepsi. Anyway, that's Watson. Okay, now let's talk about where psychology is since Watson. Okay, Watson, there was a big debate, 1950s, 1960s was when the behaviorists took over. Okay, Freud didn't really become popular in the United States until maybe 10 so many years after his death. You know, he died in 1939. He didn't really become popular in the United States until the 1950s, okay, which is really interesting. But we'll look at that until we get further in the history of psychology. But back to Watson. He caused a major paradigm shift in the field of psychology. That's when psychological historians would say that's when psychology lost its mind. Okay. Now, let's conclude history to a certain extent in terms of past history. Now we're looking towards the present. I guess you look at the next major shift in psychology came 1970s, called the cognitive revolution, thinking, information processing. And part of that came across as a result of the research done by Albert Bandura, observational learning, where a child can see something and imitate it later. That proves that something is going on up here. The mind is something. It's going on. The mind is there. And so that's where it was during that time period after Bandura, say particularly the 1970s and early 80s, the cognitive revolution. Now everything's going about neurobiological. How the brain and nervous system influences behavior. So the next section we're talking about theories of personality.